Yo! Try Hard 2020, day 5. I'm here in Bellingham at the Aslan Depot Barrel Room with Natalie Holt, of course. And Harry Riley is over here. There he is. And that's Selena. Hi, Selena. We are... Oh, do you need something?
What's the name of that car ticket again?
Kelsey Porter.
Okay, thank you.
Totally. We're here doing the Depot Comedy Club. I'll show you guys what the crowd looks like when they all get in here, but we should have a good one. It's going to be a great show. Bellingham's always dope. Thank you. I'm videotaping you. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming to the show. We got tasty sandwiches over at Fiamma Burger before this. Spicy fried chicken Sammy at Fiamma Burger. I'm just gonna... Matt K asked me a question again. He's quickly becoming my favorite person because none of the rest of you are engaging with me, which makes me feel like Matt's my only friend, which is fine. It's me and Matt versus the world. So Matt asked, is what we consider existence simply a simulation that was created by a being of higher intelligence? And I think it's an interesting question because there's no way to prove one way or the other. I'm not a philosopher or a scientist. I'm a comedian, but I think it kind of seems like we're in a simulation right now because everything's crazy. We have a super dumb reality TV show host president and the world's kind of falling apart. My buddy Jay Black has a joke about it, and I'm not going to hack the whole thing, but I'll tell you, he says it's like if whoever's running the simulation turned science down to 0 and Facebook up to 1,000, and look, measles came back, which is kind of a good point. Personally, I think it's convenient to believe that we're in a simulation because it kind of fits the same mental scaffolding as like a monotheistic religion like Christianity. So it's just easier for us to say, oh, someone's got this, we're all a part of something else, someone else has it figured out. But realistically, we're the smartest ones on the planet, we're the higher life forms, and I think we have a kind of a species-wide imposter syndrome going on where we don't want to believe we're the smartest. That's why we embrace a lot of anti-intellectualism, and we always prop up dummies. We love reality TV shows with dumb people on them because it's hard for us to accept that we're the smart ones. We're as smart as it gets, and we're the ones responsible for how everything goes. And so far, we're kind of doing, a pretty bad job. We're not doing great. But I also think that's why Americans embrace that dumb American stereotype, is because if we pretend we're all dumb, then we don't have to feel as responsible for what our country does here and abroad. And that's not to say I don't believe in a God, or I'm going to get into some weird stuff here. It's getting weird, day 5. I was raised very Catholic, which didn't take, obviously. Natalie, you were raised Catholic too, right? All right. Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
God.
It was all very healthy for us. We're both comedians now, and the Catholicism didn't take. But one time I ate mushrooms and I talked to God, and now I know everything. So if you guys have any questions about the universe, ask me. I know God pretty well. We hung out.
Mushrooms like God's DMs.
Yeah. Mushrooms are like, if you're gonna talk to God, eat too many mushrooms and chill, and He'll be there. It was obviously a hallucination, but it kind of changed the way I thought about everything, because Mushroom God said that our idea of God was based off of just energy in general and manifests in our brains when we're being creative on problem solving and our neurons are making connections in a way, and that's like the universe's energy interacting with us, which in a way, I guess that, like, to me, that makes all religions true, because they are just the way our brains connect the dots creatively about the big questions, like why we're here, where do we come from, all that. And the more I found that, the more you work on creative ideas and problem solving, the stronger your neural pathways get, and the more output you can access. Which, this is all ridiculous, but it just changed the way I thought, because now I realize it's fun because you can just start to think of the world like a Neil Gaiman novel, like American Gods, where if you worship there's a God to everything, and if you worship that thing or use that thing, that God gets stronger. It's kind of like, I started just for fun thinking about things that way, and the more attention you pay to a concept or a God in the Neil Gaiman analogy, the more it'll work in your favor. So as a thought experiment, I started trying to do things in my life that I thought benefited creativity and comedy in general, If I get a creative idea, I just do my best to see it through and make whatever it was. And the more I do that, the more ideas I get, because I just think the neural pathway is getting stronger. If I do things that help other comics and work to perform better comedy, it winds up benefiting me in the end, which I mean is obvious. If you try to get better, you're going to get better bookings, but it's just kind of fun to think about it in a ridiculous, like, theistic way, I guess, because I was raised that way. My point is that in a way, we're constantly using our higher intelligence to access these creative neural pathways to create kind of our own simulations by manipulating the input we receive from the world through whatever perspective lens we know how. So, I mean, in a weird way, we are the higher power that's creating, I mean, we kind of are the higher power that's creating the, what is the word? Simulation. Yeah, we created it. What do you think, Natalie?
I think that...
That was a bunch of crazy shit.
Oh, I think that was definitely stuff you thought of on mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if it is a simulation, it feels real, then what's the fucking difference?
Yeah, who gives a shit? Matt? I'm sorry, Matt.
Matt.
You didn't deserve that, Matt. You, be nice to Matt. We love you, Matt.